Hey everyone, I've returned from my normal 6-month hibernation for a bit of a State of the Union speech about the current condition of KSP2,
The biggest piece of dog shit.
as well as the entire Kerbal Space Program franchise as a whole. On the day this video is being released, KSP2 is officially turning 7 months old, and just like a real 7-month-old, it has no idea what's going on. The only sounds it can make are goo goo and gaga, and it has no concept of how to do basic, everyday tasks expected of a functional human, or game in this situation. Okay, that may have been a bit harsh, but now that we're pretty far removed from the launch, and you've been able to see how the game has developed and progressed since then, I think a few things have become pretty obvious. First, I don't think KSP2 is ever going to get a multiplayer. And I think colonies are at best a 50-50 probability. Why do I say this? Well, it's been 7 months, and we don't have re-entry heating. I really don't think there's more to say, really, to be honest. I do understand that development is ongoing, and I already see the comments saying, "Ooh, you have no patience, you're just complaining, I like to see you make a game," stuff like that. But I think it is undeniable that if re-entry heating is not in the game after 7 months, a highly complex real-time multiplayer with giant bases on super detailed planets orbiting binary pairs light years away from the Kerballer system is just a fantasy at this point, really. Just looking at the roadmap here, there are 5 separate items, so to speak, after the initial early access. So let's say best case scenario, the science update comes out around mid-November of this year, 2023. That will still be around 9 months after the initial early access launch. And the science update is definitely the simplest. I mean, it's literally just adding a feature we've had in KSP1 for ever. So I mean, just do the math. If it's 9 months between major updates, that means multiplayer, the last item on the roadmap, will be coming out roughly August of 2028.
What the fuck?
I feel like that is long for even these guys. Maybe colonies is all you care about. I mean, it certainly seems like what the developers are most excited for.
The specific pillar to which I'm looking forward the most is colonies.
May 2025. Keep in mind, most of these features were promised to be released in 2020. Not 2025 or 2028. That's kind of ridiculous. I'm still salty, honestly, about the questionable timelines. But anyway, I don't know all the little nuances, all the quirks and quacks, and I don't know why I'm a duck now, but I don't think it takes an expert to realize that, if you have some money that is ripped apart, you can glue that money back together. You can do a little squirt, 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 but you're never going to be able to, no one's going to take your, it's not a dollar, it's not a functional dollar. I think you get the point. Basically, if it looks like a blobfish, acts like a blobfish, feels like a blobfish, it's probably a blobfish. Jesus Christ, I booted up the game to get some footage for this video, and I couldn't even load craft. What is this? Hey everyone, sorry for the quick face cam jump scare we got going on right here. If this is the first time you see my face, hello. But I just want to offer a quick clarification here. So as I was editing the video, I realized what I just said is actually not true. It is letting me click it fine. It's just the selection mechanism color thing here. That's just BS. It makes it look like you haven't selected it when you actually have, but I maintain this is stupid design. My bad. Fix that. Anyway, back to the video. Unfortunately, I think KSP2 is just another example of this trend in game development recently, where studios released broken or unfinished games and just promised to fix it all later. Just look it up on YouTube. There are countless videos explaining and very rightly complaining about this problem.
The thing that comes to mind when I think of the PS4 and Xbox One era is all of the games that released in just a totally busted state.
AAA studios have gotten into this very bad habit of releasing unfinished games.
Why can't AAA studios finish their games?
No way! It's here! It's actually here! After complete development hell and 6 release date changes, it's actually here! I'm sure it'll be the product that they promised. I'm so excited! I can't wait to finally play it.
Everything from No Man's Sky to Cyberpunk 2077 to Jedi Survivor to Overwatch 2 to Fallout 76, and yes, Kerbal Space Program 2 are included in this trend, so to speak. I don't think the story of Kerbal Space Program 2 is going to end up being all that unique or unheard of. It's a disappointing trend, but hey, that's just the current state of gaming for you.
I haven't yet found the upper limit of what you can do, even in the original game. And we're expanding it times 1,000.
That one didn't age quite so well.
But pilot, I hear you say. No Man's Sky got good, they fixed it. Why won't the same happen for KSP 2? My answer to that is simple. No Man's Sky was a AAA game with massive amounts of investment behind it. There's just a lot more incentive. I mean, it took the most downvoted Reddit post and literal government hearings
surprise mechanics
for EA to fix Battlefront 2. I just don't see this as a realistic possibility for KSP 2. A common thing I also hear a lot, especially from the devs, is that, KSP 2 is just so much more complicated and ambitious. There's like so much more realism and detail.
Times 1,000.
That's why it's taking so long. To that, I say why. Actually though, why? This is from their most recent developer update, in which they discuss the heating model that is finally coming, hopefully soon. This is how they plan on modeling heat and radiation from the craft. And just why? I think an important skill to have is to know how to allocate resources efficiently. Sometimes things can honestly just be left at good enough. KSP1's heating model, for example, is very basic. And what did we get in return? Well, a functional game. And it's actually kind of funny, because it seems that in search of a highly complex and detailed experience, what we have now is actually extremely not complex and very undetailed. Very not ambitious, so to speak.
Ironic.
If you watch any of the videos the KSP2 team has released, the devs are talking pretty much nonstop about their grand vision for the game, about all the amazing features coming.
Everything in this game is way, way bigger. Not just a little bit bigger, not 2 times bigger. The human mind is not designed to even comprehend the distances we're talking about here.
That stuff is important, don't get me wrong, but I think they are making the same mistake I have caught myself making on many occasions. I am personally a quite future-oriented person. I probably am as far away from that live-in-the-moment type of people as one can be. A consequence of that is that I spend more time thinking about what might be, or what can be, and not about what is. I think many people on the KSP2 team are in a similar mindset. Shadowzone summed it up best.
At the end of the day, no matter how many renders or test scenes we get, working software is the primary measure of progress. The same way the universe is expanding, so could be playable features. Why not add pulsars or black holes? You could introduce a nebula where you have to use aerodynamic vehicles, or else you could suffer drag even when in zero gravity. In a sheer endless universe, the potential for features is also never ending.
Let me put it this way. I would happily substitute these nifty little teaser videos of what's supposedly coming in like 80 years for the 50% of core features that are still missing from KSP2. Stuff like heating, career mode, science, performance, you get the picture. I don't work at Interceptor, Star Theory, or Take-Two, or whoever is making this game, so I'm not going to pretend to know exactly what's going on behind the scenes, but if I had to throw out a guess as to why KSP2 has been such a disappointment thus far, I'd say it's a combination of an underfunded development, tiresome corporate maneuvering, poor development planning, and devs with a honestly questionable history. Go watch Yax's video on that. Everything will start making a lot more sense after you see it, to be honest. And at the end of the day, I really do think it's best we just take the L here and admit to ourselves that KSP2 is never going to be the groundbreaking product we were all promised. Just look at the Steam charts. That is indescribably awful. There's just no turning that around. I don't mean any disrespect toward the developers of KSP2. I just think this is the most realistic prognosis for the game. I'm happy proven wrong though. As I've said before, I would like nothing more than for KSP2 to be one of the greatest games of all time. It would make me very happy indeed. But I think it's important to look at this objectively. And hey, at least we still have KSP1. Or do we? Well, as I was doing some light research for this video, I noticed some pretty disturbing developments about KSP1, but I'll save that for the next video.